YCS Pittsburgh has just resolved, and Branded Dracotail is the deck of discussion lately. Hey guys, Attack here, back with another Market Watch, and today we are going to be taking a look at predominantly more branded stuff like we did in the last Market Watch, but we are also going to be looking at a couple of random cards that went up in price due to recent support, and also even a couple of cards that I would recommend picking up now before they skyrocket in price. I also do want to real quick apologize for only one upload last week. The Sofa Cord Yummy in-depth guide really burnt me out a little bit, so I needed some time to rest, and then I also had some life stuff going on last week, so I was only actually able to get one video up. And I have also noticed that a great deal of you that are watching this video right now are not currently subscribed to the channel, so if you like competitive based content, whether it's advanced or Genesis format, consider subscribing to the channel for more. But also, don't forget to leave a like on this video and comment down below what cards I should look at in next week's Market Watch. And it is not required, but it is greatly appreciated. But if you would like to further support the channel, then consider joining my community Discord, following me over on Twitch, and using my TCG affiliate link. And if you would like to save 15% off the next time you buy a new deck box, playmat, or even new card sleeves, then consider using my Dueling Guard affiliate link. All links will be in the description down below. Alright, so the first card in topic is going to be Tachyon Dragon. This card has actually been steadily going up in price for the last little while because Duelist Advance was such a flop of a set. People are looking to find their value in that set, literally anywhere. And find their value, they certainly did. Tachyon Dragon is an ultra rare in Duelist Advance, and it has been very quickly going up in price because it is also a meta option. It is a card that is played in Dracotail, but also a super poly target if you're playing against Dracotail. And this card is down to 8 listings, and honestly, half of them aren't even like USA listings or like listings that are legal in the TCG. We got non-legal versions. So we're looking at like $30 a copy of this card. Now, you do only need one. I do need to preface that you do only need one copy of this card. So this is one of those cards too that I believe this was only like $3 or $4 on release of Duelist Advance. So if you pulled multiple of this, you are really winning right now. On the topic of branded Borreload Furious Dragon, this also has other reasons, but this card has also been going up in price. It has actually recently gone down. This made it up to about the $10-12 mark, and it has slowly steadied down to about the $6, $7, possibly even $8 mark. And yeah, this is a card that has no reprints. It got a printing as an ultra rare in the structure deck of Rocket Revel and has not seen a printing since. And due to that reasoning, this card has skyrocketed in price because this card is played in branded, but also we have Rocket support in Burst Protocol that recently got revealed. Still, of course, talking about branded, we have Despia Queritus. It's got a secret rare in the Megatins and an ultra rare in Dawn of Majesty, and it's been steadily going up in price. It is by no means super expensive, and it is only a one of, but this is typically the card they're putting in the extra deck just to summon it off of Granganol's effect. When your opponent special summons a monster off of its own effect, then Granganol can banish itself, special out a Despian or a Dogmatica monster. So typically they're specialing out this or Quem, sometimes even Lulu Lilith if they choose to run it. The ultra rare is ranging about $7, whereas the secret rare is about $4. This might be something that you want to check your bulk for, because this could just be really easy like penny stocks. Let's take a look at the Fallen The Virtuous structure deck. So the structure deck came out about a week or two ago, and in the structure deck you are guaranteed a secret rare of one of 5 cards, either the alt art of Ecclesia, the alt art of Fleur de Lis, the alt art of Thrust, the alt art of the fusion deployment, and then we had the Fallen The Virtuous and the new fusion, so one of 6 cards. And then furthermore, that secret rare could actually be bumped up to a Starlight rare. Well, the secret rares on their own are proving to actually have some sort of value behind them. Fallen The Virtuous, the actual spell card, is actually proving to be kind of a staple. This card is kind of being slotted in to many decks as just like a small little engine, because it is just like a free pop, and then when you send the Albion the Branded Dragon, it can actually reset it, which is really strong. The secret rare of this is getting pretty close to like $10. Like, this is the last below $10 listing, and you're actually paying more, and it's also heavily played already. So this card, just the secret rare, is looking at about $14 to $15 already, just for the secret rare. Looking at the Starlight rare, this is actually the Chase Starlight rare right now, looking at about $150 for the Starlight rare. And then we have the Triple Tactics Thrust secret rare, the alt art. These are kind of like the 2 main ones to go for. The secret rare of the fusion monster, I think, is like $4, but this one and the Fallen The Virtuous secret rares are kind of like the chase ones. The Thrust is looking at about $7 to $8 a copy for the secret rare, and the Starlight rare is sitting at about $60 to $65-ish, which really isn't that bad. Honestly, just because of like the major price spikes of just the secret rares, I would honestly highly recommend just buying a handful of structure decks, not even just the 3 that you need, just buy like honestly 5 or 6, even more, just because like you can make your money back pretty quickly. The Fallen The Virtuous secret rare being $15-ish already means that you will make just about your money back if you pull that. But on top of that, you can just hold it a little longer or even just use it yourself. Like, honestly, these cards do look fantastic, and the secret rares being actually worth something is really nice because they really weren't worth anything when we had the same concept for the Blue Eyes structure deck last year. Still on the topic of branded, Titaniclad. Titaniclad's pretty cheap in any rarity you get it in, other than the OG secret rare from Rise of the Duelist, down to 17 listings. And if you want the OG secret rare of Titaniclad, you are paying about $25-ish. This doesn't surprise me because Titaniclad is actually a very, very vital piece of the branded extra deck. Being able to send this to the graveyard to special summon out Quem or Albaz, or even just add them to your hand at the end of the turn is pretty powerful. And having the max rarity of that, you know, that always feels great. But max rarity branded, as we talked about in the last video, the last market watch, is always coming at a price. And so Titaniclad being very few listings is pretty pricey, but if you don't care about lower rarity, then he's pretty cheap in any other rarity. Chaos Star Source Dragon has 2 commons, its original printing, and then in the Megatins, but it was a super rare in the OTS. This is a card that not only branded plays, but branded Dracotail tends to play, because it just requires a light or dark dragon plus any dragon, so pretty easy to make. And the super rare, looking at about $4 to $5-ish, closer to 4. Only 15 listings left of this card, but it is a super rare from the OP28 pack, so the OTS 28. Might be something you want to check your bulk for, because I opened a lot of this OTS pack, and I had about 6 or 7 of these, so I made a pretty easy like $30 off of this. Sure enough, we're still talking about branded Ido, the Supreme Magical Force. You know, some branded players can't move on from Gimmick Puppet. Most branded decks are not doing the lock with Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. However, there are still a good amount of people that are, and Ido is the new Gimmick Puppet. They're using the Sanctifier to summon this to your opponent's board, and the person who controls it cannot special summon monsters, or can't summon in general. So you have to have like a Droplet or a Book of Eclipse to out this, essentially. But this QCR is the highest rarity this card has, and it's really not even that expensive, like $3-4. Personally, if you ask me, you know, just move on with your life and don't Sanctifier lock. But, you know, that's just me. You know, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I was puppet locking back when Puppet was legal, but that's just me. I mean, the secret rare, which is the OG printing of Ido, is still sitting at about $10 a copy. This isn't specifically branded related, however, it's in the branded lore, but Dogmatica Fleur de Lis, the Thunderbolt. This is the new one that came out in Doom and Dimensions. This card's really good. It's been seeing a lot of play in like Regenesis builds, but also some branded builds have actually been playing this because Titaniclad can add any Dogmatica monster, so he can actually add the Fleur de Lis on end phase, and then Fleur de Lis can then set a punishment on your opponent's turn, and punishment can then pop. So some people have been experimenting with this, and we have been seeing a very slow climb. It's not been spiking, but it's seeing a slow climb. It's only got 26 listings, so there's not a whole lot left, but this card is about $10. I recently picked it up for 10, so that's honestly a pretty, like, I've already doubled my profit if I choose to sell it, which I'm not choosing to sell it because I am going to toy around with it, but this card's almost up to $20, and like I said, it's very slowly getting bought out. It's kind of creeping. This might be something that if you want to experiment with this is just like a good card that can see play in future formats, just in any old deck. Like I said, people are playing it in Regenesis, so this might be something worth picking up. All right, enough about branded. I'm sick of talking about branded. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the new Bonz archetype that we will be getting in the Maze of Muertos whenever that releases. And they recently announced that that entire archetype is going to be zombie related, and because of that, Gozuki, a very, very strong card in the zombie super archetype, is spiking in price because of it. The OTS is down to 10 listings, about $3 a copy. The ultra rare from Duelist Saga, looking at about $3.50, 35 listings, and the common is about 51 listings and about $5 a copy. So funny enough, the common is more expensive. I mean, I guess it was a common in OTS as well, but Just funny to see that the commons are slightly more expensive than the ultra rare, but again, I mean, we're seeing major buyout. The OTS is down to 10 listings. The Duelist Saga seems to be the one going next, and then this will be probably the next one. Gozuki's vital in zombie strategies along with Mizuki, so you might want to look at picking this up because that entire archetype is zombie related, so you can never go wrong with having Gozuki. Call of the Haunted, though, is the core centerpiece of the entire archetype. Many of the cards in the archetype mention Call of the Haunted. They add Call of the Haunted, they set it, etc. They do a lot with it. And Call of the Haunted, actually, in the quarter century Bonanza, had a QCR printing. This was nothing. This was like nothing upon release. It was like, I think like $20-ish upon release. It's up to 47, close to 50. 13 listings left. There's not a lot of listings left of this card, and this is, I believe, a 3 of in the Bonz archetype because all the cards mention this card. The entire archetype even revolves around the gimmick that Call of the Haunted stays on the board if the monster is not destroyed specifically. So if the monster is sent or just leaves the field by any means other than destroying, Call of the Haunted stays on the board, clogging up a spell and trap zone. Well, a lot of the cards in the Bonz archetype actually play off of that gimmick, which is kind of cool. That being said, if you don't care about max rarity, then, you know, there's 1,000 printings under the sun of Call of the Haunted specifically. There's vastly cheaper options. Now for a card I'm not fully certain why it's going up in price, but Kaiba the Legend. Again, I think this is just strictly like Duelist Advance is trying to find some value, because again, it was a very flop set. This is a secret rare in the Duelist Advanced set, and down to 12 listings, getting majorly bought out. This is close to, I mean, there's a lot more listings than I last saw last night, but I mean, this card, like when these cheap listings are gone right here, we're looking at like $20 a copy of this card. So you might want to scoop up these cheap listings while you still can, because again, this card is going up in price, but at the same time, I don't actually know why. Like, obviously, Blue Eyes players, but is it for Blue Eyes in Genesis? Is it Blue Eyes in Advance? Like, if you know why this card is getting bought out, let me know in the comment section below. 7th Tachyon. I feel like we keep talking about this card. This card went up in price because it was seeing a lot of play in Genesis, because it's just like a free search of like anything, essentially. But on top of that, it's now seeing a lot more play in advanced format again. Mitsurugi is playing this card to search out the water barrier statue, because we recently banned the earth statue and the fire statue. The wind statue's been banned for a while now. All that's left is the light, dark, and water. And I mean, water should have went anyways, just simply because water decks were playing it, but 7 Tachyon makes it so the Mitsurugi deck can play Water Statue now, which is so fun. That's what pure Mitsurugi is resorted to, is like they can't just win with a good deck, which Mitsurugi Pure is a good deck. They can't just win with the ability of the deck. They have to then on top of that normal summon a Floodgate on top of that, but I digress. This card's spiking in price because people want to search the Water Statue, and this card is up to about $30 a copy. I mean, there's still plenty of listings. This is a card that I will, for a very long time, be recommending to pick up. This is just a very good card for decks that want to be able to search like anything, because it also says for the rest of the turn. It doesn't say the turn you activate this card, so you can do everything other than Xyz summoning, then activate this card, and then you're locked into Xyz after you activate this card. So again, just a really powerful card. If you ever get your hands on this card, I would not recommend getting rid of it. But if you want a water statue lock, then, you know, pick it up now. Oh boy. Still talking about Mitsurugi, funny enough. The Mitsurugi Prayers super rare from the OTS pack, honestly kind of worth something. We only got 7 listings left of this card. There's obviously a demand for this, and I mean, this guy has 13 copies, but there's not a lot of cheap listings left of this card. There's 3 cheap listings, and then everything is like 12 or higher. For some reason, this guy's charging $420. Haha, funny number. $420.69. But yeah, there's not. This card's getting bought out. Funny enough, like this is pretty much gone now. Obviously, this is the current OTS. We are currently in OTS 29, so there's plenty of opportunities to open it at your locals. But just wanted to point out this card is getting bought out. And which is funny because I imagine Mitsurugi's fucked on the next ban list. All right, let's talk about a couple cards that I think everyone should be picking up other than 7 Tachyon. Simul Archfiends. There's been a whole bunch of talks of people talking about like, oh, D-Bear's banned, you know, now we got to find the replacement. Some people have already been looking towards Simul Archfiend. This card saw a little bit of play during Snake Eye format. Wasn't very effective during that format, but people did look at it. It's kind of like D-Barrier at home, and also includes Link monsters on top of that. So it's okay of a card, but people are looking towards other options like Grisaille Prison and whatnot. But this is also something that I would just recommend picking up just in case, look through your bulk as well. This card did see a little bit of a price increase after the ban list, just because, again, it's something people are looking at. But it has a common from the tins and a super rare from Darkwing Blast. This card's looking at about 70 to 80 cents a copy. So still fairly cheap, but like I said, it has been going up in price steadily since the ban list that banned D-Barrier. Might be worth something just to pick up for like penny stocks, but also just to have on hand in case it decides to go up in price. Gordian Slicer. I'm going to stress this so much right now. Pick this card up. This card is at the lowest I have ever seen it. On release, this card was expected to be cracked and did not live up to that hype because it has to play for a very specific style of deck, something that the current style of decks don't appeal to. But this is a good card, and this is a very good card. It was a secret rare in Alliance Insight, and this card at release was like $30. It's down to $5. I cannot stress this enough. Pick this card up now. One, because it's a good card for Genesis. There's a lot of decks in Genesis that can actually play this. But two, it is just a very, very good card. And you do not want to be the person that doesn't have this card when it spikes back in price because people are playing it. It is a fantastic board breaker. And you don't want to be the guy that doesn't have this when it spikes in price. It's going to be the same argument as like Song of the Dominators. That card was like $5 a copy, and then it spiked to like 40 just randomly because Yummy started playing it. Like Pure Yummy was playing it for a hot minute there. Do not be the guy that doesn't have this card. Don't do another Song of the Dominators instance. Another card I think is actually worth picking up is the Starlight Rare of SP Little Knight. Yes, it has a QCR, and it has a bunch of printings under the sun at this point, but I think the Starlight's worth picking up. SP is not seeing a whole lot of traction in the current format. Like, SP's played, I believe, in almost every deck, yes, but funny enough, if you watch back to specifically YCS Pittsburgh, she didn't get summoned a lot. This card right now is currently used as just like an oh shit button. Like, you're in a bad position, so you need to get yourself in a slightly better position, and that's what SP is being used as, rather than like a form of interruption. And I do think as time goes on, the Starlight Rare from the Megaton will go up in price. Like, on release, I think it was like $20. It's currently sitting at about $8 to $9, possibly even $10. I think at some point it will retain its $20 value just over time. This might be something that's worth picking up every time you see it in somebody's binder, and then that way, you have a bunch when it does eventually go up in price. But again, I just recommend picking it up now, but don't buy it in bulk. Just pick it up as you see it, because I do think that it will eventually retain its value. Same argument for the Infinite Impermanence Starlight Rare. This one might be a little harder to argue because it has a QCR, it has an Ultimate Rare, it has, I believe, even a Collector Rare. This has a lot of premium rarities, so the Starlight Rare being the newest premium rarity means that it's usually going to be cheaper than the rest. However, this card is sitting at about the same thing as SP Little Knight, $11-12 right now, and it was, I believe, $20-30 on release of the Megatins, and then as more listings populated, it went down in price. Same argument. I think if you just see these in people's binders and they don't want it, pick them up, because I do think that at some point it will start to retain its value. I don't think it's going to skyrocket, because at the end of the day, there's still an Ultimate Rare, there's still a QCR that came out before the Starlight Rare. There's still plenty of other high rarities, but this is something that you might want to pick up. On top of that, it's a premium rarity. Yes, it's the newest premium rarity, so some people consider that as lower rarity. I don't know. Some people are dumb about that, but at the end of the day, if you want a very shiny card for cheap, Starlight Imperm, just get your play set for $30, and there you go. You have a max rarity Imperm, depending on your definition of max rarity. But again, $11-12 really ain't that bad, so I just could recommend picking this up now. We mentioned it before, but Songs of the Dominators. This is a good card from Alliance Insight. Very specific for very specific decks, and this card as you all know, when Yummy first came out, people were actually experimenting with this, and it saw a major spike in pricing to the point where it was at like $40. I paid almost $100 for a playset, and I actually haven't used them since. They're still sitting in a binder. That was the biggest neg I think I've paid on a card yet. It's back down to about $10 a copy. We're seeing majority of this being played in like stun, like Morganite stun. So I mean, you can see here like the Morganite cards are kind of going up in price because Morganite stun's something that people are toying around with, and people also purchase these cards alongside Song of the Dominators. Now that it's back down to a fairly cheap price, pick this card up now. There will be a scenario where Song of the Dominators goes back up in price, at least because we don't know when this is getting reprinted other than, you know, the next year's tins, obviously. But before that, you know, we don't know if there's going to be a reprint of this card before then, and there's a good chance this spikes in price. So I could not heavily recommend more just to pick this card up now. Like, it's $10 a copy, like, and you could buy one a week and probably not, you know, feel the negative impact of that. But same argument for Dominus Spiral. No one's playing this card, which is fair. This one's a little more niche. Like, Purge and Impulse are obviously the better Dominus cards currently, but Spiral is just a good card. It's just a lot more situational. And also on top of that, it hurts light and dark, which is the two most common attributes in the entire game. So it's a little bit more specific, but it is still a decent card. And this card's down to $10 a copy as well, just like Song of the Dominators. This is just a good card to have in your binder because you just never know. It will eventually go up in price. I'm up to, I think, about 15 copies of this card because every time I see it, I pick it up because this card will see its day. I genuinely promise that. This card will see its day. And honestly, you're not going to have another Song of the Dominators moment where this card was cheap and you missed out. And that's it for today's Market Watch. It was kind of like a branded episode part 2. I understand that, but branded is kind of like the focus of everyone's mind right now because branded Dracotail just won YCS Pittsburgh. It just had a new structure deck release. On top of that, it's getting support in Burst Protocol. So branded is kind of like the deck right now. The deck that, yeah, it might not be the best deck in the room, but it is the deck people want to be buying cards for right now. But due to that, that's the reason I wanted to talk about a bunch of other cards. I didn't want to just have an only branded episode again, but let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Are any of these cards, in your opinion, worth picking up right now, or will they go down in price? On top of that, don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more if you like competitive-based content, whether it's advanced format or Genesis. But other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.